Well, hey there everybody. Hey, last year I completed my greenhouse, my new greenhouse, and I cleared out a lot of area. In fact, I cleared out a couple raised beds so I could put this in. But now I have a big empty spot in my garden that I can put raised beds. So I figured I was going to go and buy the cheapest raised beds off Amazon. These are about $40 beds. I'm going to be installing them right here. Already got a lot of my plants put together, or put in the containers. I still got a few in here. These are going to be staying in here because I just want to try them out with warmer weather and constant high heat. But my other greenhouses are pretty much empty. I do have a few plants left over from the farmer's market that I'm going to be giving away to friends and putting in some raised beds once I get them made. So let's take a look at what I got. So this is a fairly heavy box. It's probably, good 20 pounds or so. Supposed to have 2 raised beds in it. So we shall find out. Alright, let's pop this thing open. A box in a box. There we go. There's one. There's 2. Good. Set this one down here. All right, what do we got in this thing? Got a little pair of maybe cut resistant gloves in here. A little piece of styrofoam that I don't want. This is some material for getting rid of the sharp edge. Pretty cool. Instructions. They are in English. That's a good thing. And then, those are sharp. I can feel them just by putting my hand on there. See how these gloves fit. Ain't that special. I really doubt these are cut resistant, but they'll help a little bit. Angle pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 angle pieces. Four straight pieces. And your box of screws. Alrighty. And that looks like it. Alright, let's put this thing together. Alright, so as I dumped out all the nuts and bolts, found that it gives me a wrench and a screwdriver, but I'm probably going to use a drill. That way I can go a little bit faster on it. Alrighty, get down to my garden kneeler here, get this thing done. All right, so we got the pieces all put together. It's supposed to be almost 48 inches long. Let's see what we got here. Got 47 by 23. So it's just like I said. It's almost 4 by 2. And sharp end. Made sure to put all the sharp ends on one side. I can feel them right here. Used a glove whenever I was touching this side. The other side is bent over. So now I just got to put the piece all the way around, a little rubber piece, and then place it. Once I place it, if you want to just see what this thing looks like filled, I'm going to put a timestamp someplace up here, maybe over here. And I'll have a timestamp, and you can just jump to that timestamp to see what this thing looks like all put together. The only thing I would have changed on it right now is maybe a bar across, but I'm not too worried about it. For under 40 bucks, this thing's doing pretty good. Let's see how this piece fits. Start it up here. Work my way around. I know I'd be the one cutting myself if I don't put this piece on too. Leave that out for shrinkage. For this second one, I decided to do it in here in my greenhouse, make it a little easier on me. Of course, I got a little helper in here. Wanted to check out what was going on. Haven't cleaned up my greenhouse yet, of course, because just got done with the market last weekend, or this weekend actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this one together in here and bring you back in when I get it all the way done. All right, so I got number 2 done, and for the most part, this thing took me about 30 minutes on the workbench. That's with a drill to drill all these in, and looks pretty sturdy. Let's go ahead and find a place to put them out in the garden. All right, so for the key to raised bed placement is having enough room to kneel down and work in your raised bed. So I can actually bring this over a little bit, but in order for me not to get mad at myself, I need to be able to bring my wagon into the garden and get through. And right down here, I'm bumping into my raised bed. So that's not gonna work too good. So I'm gonna have to move them over this way a little bit, and probably a little bit farther this direction in order for them to fit. I'll move my pot someplace else after a while, but for now I just need to be able to get this in so I can carry in compost, put it into the beds, and harvest and put it in here. Keeps me from making as many trips, so got to make sure that my little wagon can make it in. So I'm going to bring it over this way. Alrighty. So in order to fill these up, I'm going to be doing a little bit of humiculturing. So in order to save myself a whole bunch of really good garden soil compost, I'm going to go ahead and line this thing with some alder that I cut down. Did it a few months ago, so it's fairly dry. But I'm just going to set these all in nice and flat. If I have any that are like this, take them off so they're flat, otherwise it'll put too many air gaps in there. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill this thing up. Alrighty, so now I'm going to add some sand in here, give it some better drainage, and push some of this down. Let me know in the comments whether or not you think I put too much hubiculture wood in here or not. Put that in. This should really help drainage and fill up all the gaps. All right, have both the raised beds with some sand in them. Used up all the sand I had left. It's pushing down on a lot of those twigs. It's going to give me a lot of really good drainage in here. Now I'm going to have to go and make some compost, actually process some compost. The compost is going to fill up the rest of it. Hopefully I don't have to add very much, if any, box store garden soil. So let's see. All right, so down here in the bottom you can see I got some compost that's probably ready. Turned it about 3 weeks ago, forgot to turn it last week. So I got the grass clippings from one of my first mows up on top, but I'll probably be able to get some out of that down below there on that lower level. Got a couple weeds trying to poke through. They had some sunlight. And let's go ahead and turn my compost and put the grass over in this empty side here and keep going. This grass is just coming off in layers, so that's a good thing. Go ahead and flip it. Alrighty, that works. So what I'm trying to get to is this. Some of the leaves are still trying to decompose, but we got some really dark soil in there, but we got leaves there, so I'm going to have to run it through a screener. So right here got a screener, fits right on top. Move myself a little bit. Now this takes a while. I need to get one of those spinning ones, but for right now this thing's gonna work just fine. Put that there, slide it back. So anything that doesn't go through here, it's going to go right back into this other compost bin. Shake it a little bit. It's going in there. A few sticks that are still going. A few of last year's crop. I don't know where that came from. Back and forth. So this is the good compost right here. This is really dark. That is some nice compost. Let's keep going. I'll bring you back in after I get one filled. Alright, so the wheelbarrow that was about a little over half full did a pretty good job of filling in most of that raised bed. I still have this one to do, and I have a little bit less than half of my compost left. Alright, well, had just enough to fill these up. Now this is going to sink down a little bit. Also, the sun came out on me. The little plastic rubber guard here
I'm able to work it down a little bit, squeeze it together, get rid of most of this excess. So that should be able to fit right there. And I'll just play with it as it shrinks and comes out a little bit. So I didn't have to cut this at all. That's a good thing. Now it's time to put some plants in here. Whew. All right, so I decided I'm gonna go ahead and put more peppers in here. I tell all my customers over at the farmers market to make sure you pot peppers. That way you can bring them in the fall. We're in 8 Bravo and or zone 8 Bravo. So when we come to October, you can actually bring them in when we get the temperatures that drop down. But there's no problem putting them in here. Just won't get a second harvest out of them. A little saw bug in there. So I'm going to go ahead and plant these in and see how they look, and I'll be all done. Whew. And by the way, I was thinking about it. In order to fill these with bags, probably be 3 to 4 of the 2 cubic foot bags in here would probably fill it up. So you're looking at about 30 bucks, maybe 40 if you got to buy 4 of them of the garden soil from your local box store. So I was sort of lucky I was able to fill all these up with the compost that I had. So let's keep going on this thing. All right, let's give you a look at these things all done. I put some habanero reds there, some Marsiki purples, some habanero oranges, some poblanos, more poblanos, and more poblanos. I want to have some salsa made out of poblanos this year. But for the most part, they look pretty sturdy. Doesn't look like they're going to pop. I'm going to have to go and play with this a little bit as they stretch out. But they're pretty nice little raised beds there. And for under 40 bucks each, it's a pretty good price. Alright, so these look like they're going to last a couple years. I'm happy with them. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. Push that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Happy gardening and have a great day.